You know what's wild? You finally get the thing you've been working toward. The relationship, the opportunity, the goal you've been chasing. And instead of being happy, instead of enjoying it, you panic. And you start finding ways to ruin it. Not because you don't want it, but because some part of your brain is convinced you don't deserve it. So you pick fights. You push people away. You create problems that don't exist. And then when it falls apart, you get to say, "See, I knew it wouldn't work out. But girl, that wasn't fate. That wasn't bad luck. That was you. Protecting yourself from something your brain decided was too good to be true." And if this sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're just stuck in a pattern. And we're gonna break it down. Let's be clear about what self-sabotage actually looks like. Because it's not always obvious. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's staying in a relationship you know isn't right because leaving would mean admitting you deserve better. Sometimes it's procrastinating on the thing you actually care about and convincing yourself you're just not ready yet. Sometimes it's pushing away the person who's actually good for you because healthy feels boring and chaos feels like chemistry. It's the voice in your head that says, "Don't get too comfortable. This is too good. Something's gonna go wrong." So you make something go wrong, just to prove yourself right. And here's the thing that makes it so hard to recognize. Self-sabotage doesn't feel like self-sabotage in the moment. It feels like protection. It feels like logic. It feels like you're being realistic, not pessimistic. But really, you're just scared. Psychologists call this approach avoidance conflict. You want the thing, but getting close to it triggers fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of losing it once you have it. So your brain decides the safest option is to sabotage it before it has the chance to hurt you. And that way, you stay in control of the pain. So why do we do this to ourselves? Here's the psychological truth. Self-sabotage is a defense mechanism. It's your brain's way of protecting you from something it perceives as a threat. And the threat isn't the thing itself. It's what the thing represents. Let me explain. If you grew up believing you're not good enough, your brain develops a comfort zone around that belief. And when something comes along that contradicts that belief, a healthy relationship, a big opportunity, genuine success, it feels wrong. Not because it is wrong, but because it doesn't match your internal narrative. So your brain goes into panic mode. This doesn't make sense. People like me don't get things like this. Something's off. And it creates ways to return to what feels familiar, even if what's familiar is pain. There's a concept in psychology called cognitive dissonance. It's the discomfort you feel when your reality doesn't match your beliefs about yourself. And instead of updating your beliefs, your brain tries to change your reality. So if you believe you're unlovable and someone loves you, your brain will find a way to prove that belief right. By picking fights, by withdrawing, by cheating, by finding flaws that don't exist. Not because you want to ruin it, but because your brain is trying to resolve the dissonance. If I'm unlovable, this person can't actually love me. So I need to prove that. And the relationship ends. And your belief stays intact. Same thing with success. If you believe you're not capable and you start succeeding, your brain freaks out. This doesn't fit. I'm not supposed to be here. So you procrastinate. You miss deadlines. You self-sabotage the opportunity. And when it falls apart, your belief is reinforced. See? I knew I wasn't good enough. But you were. You just didn't believe it. Let's talk about the specific ways self-sabotage shows up. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Pattern 1, you create drama when things are going well. Everything's calm, everything's good. And your brain says, "This is boring, this doesn't feel right." So you start a fight. You bring up old issues. You create tension where there was none. Not because you're toxic, but because chaos feels more familiar than peace. Pattern 2. You procrastinate on things that actually matter. You'll spend hours scrolling, reorganizing your room, doing literally anything except the thing you said you were going to do. And it's not laziness, it's fear. Fear that if you actually try and fail, it proves you're not good enough, so you don't try. And you get to keep the fantasy that you could have done it if you wanted to. Pattern 3. You reject people before they can reject you. Someone shows genuine interest in you. And instead of being happy, you panic. You pull away. You get cold. You convince yourself they're going to leave eventually, so you might as well end it now. Not because you don't like them, but because you don't trust that they could actually like you. So you leave first, and you get to stay in control of the pain. Pattern 4, you downplay your accomplishments. You do something great, and instead of celebrating it, you brush it off. It was nothing. Anyone could have done it. I just got lucky. Because if you actually acknowledge that you're capable, you have to live up to that. And that's terrifying. So you stay small, and you stay safe. Pattern 5, you convince yourself you don't really want it anyway. You get close to something you've been working toward, and right before you reach it, you decide it's not that important. I didn't really want it. It's not a big deal. Because if you don't want it, you can't be disappointed when you don't get it. And you protect yourself from the pain of trying and failing. But you also rob yourself of the joy of trying and succeeding. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Self-sabotage isn't random. It's rooted in a core belief about yourself that you've been carrying for a long time. And that belief usually sounds like one of these. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve good things. People always leave. I'm going to fail anyway. I'm too much. I'm not lovable. And the scary part, you've probably been proving that belief right your entire life. Not because it's true, but because your brain is wired to seek evidence that confirms what it already believes. It's called confirmation bias. So if you believe you're not good enough, you'll focus on every mistake, every rejection, every time you fell short. And you'll ignore or downplay every success, every compliment, every time you did well. Because your brain is looking for proof that you're right. And self-sabotage is just another way of gathering that proof. See? I ruined it again. I told you I wasn't good enough. But what if you are? What if the belief is wrong? What if you've just been so convinced of it that you keep creating situations that validate it? Because here's the thing. You're not sabotaging yourself because you're broken. You're sabotaging yourself because you're protecting a belief that's no longer true. And until you challenge that belief, the pattern will keep repeating. So how do you actually stop sabotaging yourself? First, notice the pattern. You can't change what you don't see. So start paying attention. When do you self-sabotage? What triggers it? Is it when things are going well, when someone gets close, when you're on the verge of success? Notice it, name it. Oh, I'm doing the thing again. I'm pushing this person away because I'm scared. Awareness is the first step. Second, challenge the belief. Ask yourself, is this actually true? I don't deserve this. Says who? I'm going to fail anyway. Based on what? People always leave. Do they? Or did a few people leave and now you're applying that to everyone? Most of the beliefs that fuel self-sabotage were formed when you were younger, when you didn't have the tools to question them. But you're not that person anymore. So ask yourself, is this belief still true? Or is it just familiar? Third, sit with the discomfort. When something good happens and your brain starts spiraling, don't act on it. Just sit with it. Feel the fear, let it be there. But don't let it drive your decisions. Your brain is going to scream, this is too good, run, sabotage it, protect yourself. And you're going to say, I hear you, but I'm not doing that this time. It's going to feel wrong. It's going to feel uncomfortable. But discomfort doesn't mean danger. Sometimes discomfort just means growth. And finally, give yourself permission to have good things. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to prove you're worthy of success. You don't have to suffer to deserve peace. You just get to have it. And if that feels selfish or arrogant or too good to be true, that's your belief talking, not reality. So if you've been sabotaging yourself, I want you to know something. It's not because you're broken. It's not because you're incapable. It's because somewhere along the way, you learned that you don't deserve good things. And your brain has been working overtime to protect that belief. But that belief isn't true. And you don't have to keep proving it right. You're allowed to have the relationship. You're allowed to succeed. You're allowed to be happy without waiting for the other shoe to drop. And yeah, it's going to feel weird at first. because good things feeling wrong is part of the pattern. But just because it feels wrong doesn't mean it is. So the next time your brain tries to convince you to sabotage something good, pause. Ask yourself, is this protection or is this fear? And choose differently. Because you deserve good things, even if you don't believe it yet, especially if you don't believe it yet. And the more you choose to keep the good things instead of destroying them, the more your brain will start to believe that maybe, just maybe, you actually deserve them. Thanks for being here. And remember, self-sabotage isn't proof that you're broken. It's proof that you're protecting yourself. But you don't need that protection anymore. You're safe to have good things now.